The BuCor Love Foundation Milestones of Accomplishments. After more than years of planning, the first General Assembly was at the Social Hall, Administration Building of the Bureau of Corrections on October 12, 2009 by the Founding Fathers, consisting of Bureau officials, inmate leaders and volunteers from the civil society, signed the Articles of Incorporation and the bylaws and officially launched the BuCor Love Foundation. On November 10, 2009, the Certificate of Registration by the SEC was issued, followed by the Certificate of Registration by the Bureau of Internal Revenue on December 4, 2009. BuCor Love Foundation formally introduced the 6 phases of Reformation which still exist to this day. The year 2010 saw various activities, such as Medical Dental Mission with PCSO, launching of the National Bible Week, launching of the Billion Trees program with NDENR Secretary Horatio Ramos, the launching of the Foundation Choir, and the Foundation's website. On July 20, 2010, the chairmanship of the Foundation was turned over to retired Chief Justice Renato S. Puno from Assistant Director Bobat Diaz, who preceded Assistant Director Julio Arciaga. On July 25, 2010, an oath of office ceremony of the Board of Trustees was administered by Secretary of Justice, Leila D. Lima. This was followed by the launching of the BuCor Love Foundation's Reformation Office, responsible in forming various inmate communities, such as the Christian communities, the Catholic communities, the Chinese community, Muslim community and others, including the acclaimed project, Mr. Bilibid Malinas. The year 2011 saw the launching of the Billion Trees movement, entitled Outdoor Nature University, held at the Monte Paraiso, NBP Reservation, that lead to the creation of Greenbelt watershed around the NBP Lake in conjunction with the celebration of the 25th anniversary of EDSA People Power, headed by the then DALG Secretary Jesse M. Robredo and Party. Interchange, an MSTP showcase was also launched with Chairman Renato S. Puno, Bureau of Corrections Director Ernesto L. Jokno and respective officials. The oath-taking and recognition of servants and stewards of the Christian community was administered by Justice Puno, the first in the history. To promote sports inside prison, the Foundation's Reformation Office launched their own basketball team called Unite Team. The rest of the year saw various activities, such as distribution of Bibles, the implementation of the main Alad's Libreng Tubig by Mr. Bilibid Malinas, parole and probation's info drive, regular Chinese medical mission with acupuncture. Highlights of 2012 include Prison Run 2012 with then Honorable Mayor Alfredo Lim and guests. Launching of the first Interfaith Fellowship Sports Fest that culminated in the 18th National Correctional Consciousness Week on October 22, 2012, along with its various programs. Foundation's co-founder, Superintendent Catalino Molinao was designated as the Assistant Director for Administration and Rehabilitation, Bureau of Corrections. He is also the current Director for Reformation of the Foundation. Highlights of 2013 include the first silent fancy drill competition participated by the inmate security forces and the official recognition of the Foundation's security force, and the launching of the CARE Summit. CARE stands for Community Action on Reformation Endeavor, at the BuCor conference room attended by officials of the BuCor Love Foundation and Bureau of Corrections. Former Undersecretary, Attorney Ron Salo was elected as the new chairman of the Board of Trustees, former Chief Superintendent Armando Miranda as president. Other programs include the ordination of inmate pastors, graduation of inmates who completed the moral and spiritual transformation programs for Christians and Muslims separately, the values formation courses, and the behavior modification transformation programs. The Foundation completed its scorecard system. Scorecard acronym stands for Systematic Consolidation of Reformation Eligibilities, Credentials, and Records Database. The Foundation supported the BuCor Reengineering Program, which is now Republic Act No. 10575, or the BuCor Modernization Law, and Republic Act No. 10592, or the GCTA Law. Mr. Molinao was even featured on national television promoting the Reformation programs, followed by Chairman Ron P. Salo to promote aftercare programs. The Foundation conducted optical missions, medical missions, derma missions, paralegal missions, various feeding programs for its member beneficiaries, the reflexology team, the senior citizens community and the persons with disabilities community. Highlights of 2014 include the launching of the Prayer Walk project entitled BuCor is for Christ, and the first founding anniversary of the United Council of Christian Communities or UCCC, the official Christian community of the Foundation, formerly known as the Inmates Christian Council. Highlights of 2015 include the recognition of UCCC Medium Chapter and its Reformation Office, where various Reformation programs dubbed as Ang Bagong Buhay were launched by the Foundation, which saw hundreds of inmate beneficiaries graduating by batches. Other programs include feeding and gift-giving programs for the elderlies and visitorless, awarding and recognition ceremonies for outstanding inmates, choral showcase, ecumenical concert by the Foundation's Cornerstone Band, and the launching of its single carrier Reformation, an original composition by two UCCC stewards, brothers Owen and Rommel. Highlights of 2016 include the launching of various mentoring courses, such as the Interdenominational Christian Teaching, Guidance Counseling and Mentoring course and vocational training courses. Other programs include interdenominational worship services, feeding programs, medical and dental missions, distribution of Bibles, to name a few. Gideon's International have been supporting the Foundation through the Gideon's Bible distribution for more than a decade. On July 20, 2016, the PNP-SAF took over the new Bilibid prison, and all programs stopped inside the maximum compound. The other camps continued its Reformation programs, as well as its yearly National Correctional Consciousness Week activities. Highlights of 2017 include the launching of Oplan Pagbabago under BuCor Director Attorney Benjamin C. De Los Santos. Other programs were supported by volunteer benefactors from the civil society. On October 30, 2017, the UCCC ceased operations. This was the last activity of the Foundation with the Bureau of Corrections due to the proliferation of drugs inside prisons. On March 8, 2018, the PNP-SAF took over all the remaining camps inside the new Bilibid prison. Martial law reigns. Highlights of 2018 include the launching of the Foundation's Facebook account and its pages, and link up with various organizations. The launching of the Prayer Guidebook Project, the Facebook group's Pray to God movement. Architect and pastor, Redentor Padua was elected as its chairman, president and CEO. Pastor Gary Zaldi Galvez conducted a feeding and gift-giving program for the elderly inside the minimum security camp, New Bilibid Prison, with Reverend David Allenwe as guest. They were assisted by UCCC Minimum Chapter led by Pastor June Borromeo and CO3 Roderick Bombassi. A few days later, a special guest SPO4 Joel K. Beho, the viral policeman preacher joined. Highlights of 2019 include the launching of the Automotive Servicing and Motorshop Technical Training Center in the NBP's Camp Bokong Loewe. The forming of various committees, namely, Executive Advisory, Reformation, and Aftercare committees. The setting up of the Foundation's Aftercare office in Quezon City, led by its committee chairman and trustee, Brother Daniel Ching, who has been with the Foundation since 2010, thus giving birth to new advocacies called the AgriPortal Project. The relaunching of the BuCor Love website. Supporting the National Congress Against the Death Penalty held at Crown Plaza Manila Galleria. Highlights of 2020 include the launching of First Jog Journey of Generosity event at the Twin Lakes Hotel, Tagaytay, sponsored by Brother Daniel Ching, which culminated with the recently concluded 3 batches of Jog First Steps via Zoom. With the COVID-19 lockdown beginning March 16, 2020, all of us were forced to stay and work from home. The Foundation continued to support the prison authorities through donations of protective equipment, such as face masks, face shield, and others, with vitamins and supplements, and of course, the Bible distribution. Finally, your Foundation has prepared for you, the Foundation 2021 and beyond.